I took a loan for my brother. He swore he'd pay, he didn't. Now I'm getting sued. When I confronted him, he laughed. You agreed to it, so I smashed his PS5. The next day, my parents called screaming. Then, something unthinkable happened. So yeah, I'm getting sued. Because I was naive enough to take out a loan for my brother. He swore he'd pay it. He didn't. And now I'm facing all the trouble while he just doesn't care. Let me back up. Ryan has always been that kind of guy, the type who could talk his way out of anything. Growing up, he was the golden child, the one who could break a window and somehow convince our parents I was responsible for not stopping him. Me? I was the responsible one. The one who had to fix things. So when he came to me all serious, saying he needed help getting a loan, I should have run. But because I'm a moron, I didn't. Come on, it's just paperwork, Ryan said, flashing that easy grin he always used to get his way. I'll be making the payments myself, I swear. I just need your name on it for approval. Banks are weird about credit scores, you know. I stared at the papers in front of me. Something felt off, but he spoke like this was the most normal request in the world. He needed the money for something really important, but wouldn't say what. A startup, a business idea, something huge, he said. I sighed. And why can't you just get it yourself? He leaned back in his chair, arms crossed. Because my score is a little low right now. Not my fault, by the way. Some billing error or whatever. You know how these things go. I knew exactly how these things went, with Ryan screwing up and me cleaning up the mess. Ryan, I really don't think. Emma, he cut me off, voice dropping into that trust me tone. I wouldn't ask if it wasn't necessary. It's just a formality, and you know I always take care of things. Yeah. Like the time he borrowed my car and left it at some girl's house overnight because he got too drunk to drive home. Or the time he needed just a little help paying rent and then magically had enough money for a weekend trip to Vegas. But I'd been raised to believe family sticks together. Ryan just needs more support, Mom always said. You're the big sister, help him out. And like a fool, I did. So I signed. The calls start coming. At first, everything was fine. Ryan assured me he was making the payments. I didn't even think about the loan after that, until 3 months later, when I got my first call from the bank. Miss Thompson, we need to discuss the past due payments on your loan, a firm voice said. You're now 2 months behind. I froze. That has to be a mistake. My brother was supposed to handle that. The payments are under your name, ma'am. As the primary borrower, you're responsible. I hung up and called Ryan. No answer. Called again. Nothing. The third time, he finally picked up, sounding half asleep. Oh, relax, he chuckled when I confronted him. It's just a little late. I'll take care of it. Ryan, they're saying it's 2 months late. God, you're so dramatic, he sighed. I'll get the money. It's not a big deal. But the next month, another call came. Then another. And each time I called him, his responses got lazier, more dismissive. Emma, why are you freaking out? You agreed to it. Not my fault you're stressing over nothing. That was when I realized he had never intended to pay it back. So, remember how I said Ryan never planned on paying back the loan? Yeah. Turns out he didn't just forget or fall behind. He straight up never even tried. And guess what? Now I'm getting sued. After the third call from the bank, I finally lost it. I showed up at Ryan's apartment, ready to kick his door down if necessary. He lived in some overpriced loft downtown, the kind of place that made no sense for someone who was struggling financially. I banged on the door. Ryan, open up. Silence. Then, movement. He was home. I swear, if you don't open this door, I will start yelling about how you have a terrible rash, I threatened. The door flew open. Emma, what is wrong with you? He snapped, rubbing his eyes like I was the problem. Like he was the victim here. I shoved past him into his apartment, and that's when I really lost my mind. Because instead of some poor, struggling entrepreneur desperately trying to get his business off the ground, I found myself standing in a luxury showroom. Brand new TV. A PS5. Designer sneakers lined up like some influencer. Expensive whiskey bottles on the counter, barely touched. And oh, the best part? There was a brand new gaming PC sitting on his desk. I knew it was new because Ryan was too lazy to remove the packaging stickers. You have got to be kidding me. Ryan sighed, flopping onto his couch. Look, before you start freaking out, you told me you didn't have money. I yelled, pointing at the thousands of dollars worth of unnecessary garbage around the apartment. I don't, he said, rubbing the back of his neck. I mean, not liquid cash. But I needed some stuff, Emma. You don't get it. Stuff? You needed a gaming setup while I'm getting sued. Ryan rolled his eyes. He actually had the audacity to roll his eyes. Oh my gosh, you are being so dramatic. You're not getting sued. Ryan, I got the papers this morning. They're taking me to court. That got his attention. His smirk faded. Wait. What? They're actually suing you. Yes, genius. He sat up, frowning, like this was brand new information to him. Like he hadn't just been dodging payments for months. Like this wasn't the direct consequence of his own choices. Okay, he said, rubbing his hands together like he was about to fix something. We can figure this out. Maybe I can make a couple calls. You don't get it, Ryan. It's over. The bank doesn't care about your excuses. The loan is in my name. I am liable. And you, I gestured wildly at his ridiculously expensive apartment, are sitting here, acting like you're the one being inconvenienced. And then, because of course this wasn't ridiculous enough, Ryan had the actual nerve to say, well, I mean, technically, you did agree to it. I swear I saw red. Are you serious right now? Emma, come on, don't be crazy. Oh, I was crazy? I turned on my heel, grabbed his brand new PlayStation, and before he could react, I threw it aside. It hit with a sickening crack and shattered. What is wrong with you, Emma? Ryan jumped up, staring at the mess like I had just destroyed a priceless artifact. Oh, I'm sorry, I said mockingly. Did that cost money? Did it hurt to lose something expensive? He looked physically pained. That was a limited edition. I grabbed one of his whiskey bottles next. Okay. Ryan held up his hands, panicking. Stop. I'll fix it. I'll pay, okay? I stopped, bottle in hand. You will? I said sweetly. He nodded frantically. Yes. Just put the bottle down. I set it down gently. Good, I said. Because if you don't, I swear, Ryan, I will come back here every single day and break something new until I have destroyed every single thing you love. He gulped. Aftermath. The next morning, Ryan texted me proof that he had transferred the first payment to the bank. For the first time in his life, he actually followed through on something. But I was done. I told my parents everything. I sent them screenshots of the court papers, the texts, and even a photo of the wreckage that used to be Ryan's PS5. And do you know what my mother said? Emma, was it really necessary to break his things? He's your brother. I blocked her number on the spot. As for Ryan, he still had the nerve to text me later that week. Ryan, hey, so we're cool now, right? I blocked him too. TLDR, my brother scammed me into taking a loan for him, wasted the money on useless stuff, got me sued, and only started paying after I smashed his PlayStation. No regrets. So, smashing Ryan's PlayStation actually got him to make the first payment. Small victory, right? Yeah, I thought so too. But if you think this story ends with Ryan suddenly becoming a responsible adult, oh, you sweet summer child. Because the real fallout was just getting started. The family freakout. After Ryan made the first payment, I let myself breathe for the first time in months. It wasn't much, but at least I wasn't getting daily calls from the bank threatening legal action. But, of course, the peace didn't last. 2 days later, my phone lit up with a call from Mom. I debated ignoring it, but I knew if I didn't answer, she'd just keep calling until my voicemail exploded. I sighed and picked up. Emma. Her voice was already loaded with disappointment. What did you do to your brother? I pinched the bridge of my nose. Mom, what did he tell you? He said you completely overreacted, destroyed his belongings, and scared him half to death. I let out a sharp laugh. Oh, you mean how I overreacted, After he tricked me into taking a loan, didn't pay it back, and nearly got me sued? That part. Emma, he was going to pay it eventually. You know how Ryan is. Yes, I do, which is exactly why I don't believe him. Mom sighed like I was being completely unreasonable. Look, your brother has been under a lot of stress lately. He's going through a rough patch. A rough patch? Mom, he's living in a luxury apartment, buying gaming setups, and drinking whiskey that probably costs more than my car payment. He told me he's barely getting by, she argued. I actually had to pull the phone away from my ear and stare at it in disbelief. Mom, did you even ask to see his finances before you believed him? Of course not. He's my son. I trust him. Of course. Classic Ryan. The professional victim. Well, I hope you're ready to trust him a little more, because I'm done, I said. He's on his own now. Mom gasped. Emma, you don't mean that. He's your brother. No, Mom. He's your son. And he's your problem now. And then, for the first time in my entire life, I hung up on her. Ryan's apology. I thought that was the end of it. I really did. Then, a few days later, Ryan texted me. Ryan, hey, can we talk? I stared at the message. The logical part of my brain screamed, ignore him. But the tiny, stupidly hopeful part of me, the one that still believed my brother might be capable of personal growth, said, what if he's actually apologizing? So I made the mistake of responding. Me? What do you want? Ryan, can we meet for coffee? I just want to talk. I was skeptical, but curiosity got the better of me. So I agreed. When I arrived at the cafe, Ryan was already there, looking surprisingly nervous. He fidgeted with his coffee cup and avoided eye contact. Okay, I said, crossing my arms. Talk. He sighed dramatically. Look, I know I messed up. I raised an eyebrow. Go on. And I get why you were mad. Keep going. He shifted uncomfortably. But you have to admit, you went a little overboard. I blinked. Excuse me? You smashed my PlayStation, Emma. Do you know how expensive that was? I actually laughed out loud. Oh, I'm sorry. Do you mean the PlayStation you bought with my ruined credit? The one you bought instead of paying back the loan that got me sued. I said I was going to pay it back. When, Ryan? When? People were starting to stare, but I didn't care. You sat there in your fancy apartment, buying nonsense while I was getting harassed by the bank. And now, you're here, not to apologize, but to complain that I broke your TY. Ryan flinched. Okay, I get it. You're upset. I'm not upset, Ryan. I'm done. He looked at me, confused. What do you mean? I mean, I'm done with you. With helping you. With fixing your messes. You're on your own now. His jaw clenched. So that's it? You're just cutting me out. No, Ryan. You did that when you lied to me. I stood up, grabbed my bag, and walked out without looking back. Final fallout. It's been a month since that conversation, and I haven't spoken to Ryan since. Mom still calls sometimes, usually to tell me how hard things have been for Ryan. But I just let it go to voicemail. The bank, on the other hand? They love me now. Turns out, once Ryan realized I wasn't going to save him, he magically figured out how to make the payments on time. Shocking, right? As for me, my credit score is still recovering, but at least I can finally sleep at night without waking up to a past due notice. And Ryan? Well, let's just say I don't think he'll be asking me for another loan anytime soon. TLDR, Ryan tried to manipulate me into forgiving him, but when that didn't work, he played the victim. I cut him off for good. Now the bank is finally getting their money, and I'm getting my peace. It's been a month since I last saw Ryan. A peaceful, glorious, stress-free month. My credit score is still a disaster, but at least I'm not waking up in a cold sweat over bank calls. Ryan, as far as I knew, was finally handling his mess on his own. Or so I thought. Because, surprise, he wasn't done. The emergency. It started with a text from Mom. Mom, Emma, you need to call me. It's urgent. I ignored it. Not because I'm heartless, but because urgent in my family could mean anything from Ryan's in the hospital, to Ryan stubbed his toe and wants attention. Then came a second text. Mom, Ryan's in trouble. He really needs your help. I sighed, already regretting my life choices, but I called her anyway. She answered immediately. Emma, thank goodness. Listen, honey, I know you're still upset, but Ryan's in a really bad situation right now. I rubbed my temples. What happened? She hesitated. He lost his apartment. I blinked. What? How? Well, the rent was a little behind. Oh, this was too good. So let me get this straight, I said, trying not to laugh. He was buying gaming setups and fancy whiskey, but he wasn't paying his rent? Mom sighed. Emma, it's not that simple. He had some financial setbacks. Financial setbacks? I repeated. Mom, I was his financial setback. She ignored that. He's been staying with a friend, but it's not working out. He needs somewhere to go, and I was thinking, maybe he could stay with you for a little while. I nearly dropped my phone. What? Just for a bit, she rushed to say. Just until he gets back on his feet. You have a spare room, don't you? I laughed. Actually laughed. Mom, he scammed me, ruined my credit, almost got me sued, and now you want me to let him move in? He's your brother. Yes, and that's exactly why he's not setting foot in my apartment. Emma, please. He has nowhere else to go. Oh, so your house is full? She hesitated. Well, you know how your father feels about that. So Dad had already said no. And instead of Ryan facing the consequences of his own actions, Mom was trying to dump him on me. Absolutely not. I'm sorry, Mom, but my answer is no. She gasped, like I had just kicked a puppy. Emma, you can't be serious. Where is he supposed to go? I don't know. A friend's couch? A motel? Literally anywhere that isn't my home. You're being cruel. No, Mom. I was being cruel to myself for years by letting him walk all over me. This time, he can figure it out on his own. I hung up before she could argue. The uninvited guest. I thought that was the end of it. I was wrong. The next evening, I came home from work, exhausted and ready to collapse on my couch. But as soon as I stepped inside, there he was. Ryan, sitting at my kitchen counter, eating my food. I just stood there stunned. What are you doing here? He looked up, mouth full of my leftover pasta, and had the nerve to smile. Hey, sis. I dropped my bag. How did you even get in here? Mom gave me your spare key. Mom gave him my spare key. I took a deep breath, counted to 10. It didn't help. Ryan, get out. He put his fork down and leaned back, completely relaxed. Come on, Emma. It's just for a little while. No, absolutely not. You can't just break into my apartment and decide you live here. I didn't break in. Mom said you'd come around. Asterisk, Mom was wrong. I pointed at the door. Out! Now. Emma, seriously? Where am I supposed to go? Not my problem. You're unbelievable, he muttered, standing up. No, Ryan, you're unbelievable. You scammed me, trashed my finances, got me sued, and now you think you can just waltz in here like nothing happened. He grabbed his bag and glared at me. I always knew you were selfish. I laughed. Actually laughed. Selfish? That's rich, coming from you. He rolled his eyes and stormed out. I locked the door behind him. Then, for good measure, I changed the locks the next morning. Mom's meltdown. Of course, Ryan immediately ran to Mom. She called me at work, furious. Emma, how could you throw your brother out? Easily, I said. He had nowhere to go. Then maybe he should have thought about that before wasting all his money on garbage instead of paying his rent. He's family, Emma. And he's your son. Maybe you should take him in. She went silent. Then, in a much softer voice. You know your father won't allow that. Oh, so I'm supposed to clean up his mess again because Dad doesn't want to? You're his sister. You're supposed to help him. I sighed. I did help him, Mom. And he used me. I'm not doing it again. She started crying. I hung up. Final update. That was 2 weeks ago. Since then, Ryan has stopped contacting me. Mom is still furious. Dad secretly texted me, I understand, but refuses to say it out loud. My credit score is finally recovering. And you know what? I feel great. Because for the first time in my life, I didn't let Ryan manipulate me. I didn't cave. I didn't play the role of the responsible sister who fixes everything. Ryan finally had to deal with the consequences of his own actions. And me? I finally get to live my life without worrying about his next disaster. TLDR, my brother lost his apartment, tried to move into mine without permission, and called me selfish when I kicked him out. I changed my locks, cut him off, and now I finally have peace. So, it's been a month since I kicked Ryan out of my apartment. I thought that would be the end of it. I really did. I should have known better. Because Ryan? He doesn't go down that easily. If you thought my last update was the grand finale, oh, you're in for a treat. Because Ryan decided that if he couldn't manipulate me directly, he'd try to do it indirectly. This time, he got creative. The social media smear campaign. I woke up one morning, scrolled through my phone like usual, and nearly choked on my coffee. Because Ryan had gone full PR crisis mode, except the crisis was him, and the PR strategy was making me look like a monster. He had posted a long, dramatic Facebook status about family betrayal. And, of course, he left out all the important details. It went something like this. It's hard when the people you love turn their backs on you. I never thought my own sister would throw me out onto the streets when I needed her most. I've always tried to be there for her, but I guess money is more important than family. Some people change when they get a little success. But it's okay, I know who my real family is now. Oh, my God. I checked the comments. Hundreds. A mix of sympathy and outrage. Oh no, Ryan. That's awful. Stay strong. I can't believe your own sister did that to you. Some people let money change them. You don't need that kind of negativity in your life. I scrolled. And then I saw it. Mom. She had commented. Ryan, we love you so much. Don't worry, sweetheart. You'll always have a home with us. Some people forget what family means, but we know better. I swear, I almost threw my phone at the wall. Because let's get one thing very clear. Ryan did not get thrown onto the streets. He had plenty of friends he could stay with. He had plenty of money when it came to shopping sprees and bar tabs. He just didn't want to take responsibility for himself. And Mom knew this. But, of course, she'd rather play the heartbroken mother of an abandoned son than admit that Ryan's problems were his own fault. I took a deep breath. I refused to let this nonsense ruin my day. I wasn't going to comment. I wasn't going to engage. But then, Ryan took it a step further. The revenge attempt. That afternoon, I got a text from an unknown number. Unknown. You should be ashamed of yourself. I frowned. Me. Who is this? Unknown. A friend of Ryan's. Unlike you, some of us actually care about family. Oh, fantastic. Now Ryan was sending his friends after me. Me. I'm not entertaining this. Don't text me again. Blocked. I thought that was the end of it. Wrong again. 2 days later, my landlord called. Emma, I need to talk to you about something weird. Okay. Someone made an anonymous report saying you've been illegally subletting your apartment. I almost dropped my phone. Wait, what? Yeah, it was flagged by the building management. But since I know you and I know that's nonsense, I wanted to give you a heads up. Oh, my God. Ryan. It had to be Ryan. I took a deep breath. Let me guess, the anonymous report didn't have any proof? Nope. Just a complaint, no evidence. Honestly, it looks like someone's trying to cause trouble for you. I laughed. Actually laughed. Because this was so Ryan. He had tried manipulating me emotionally. That failed. He had tried turning Mom against me. That failed. So now? He was just throwing nonsense at the wall to see what would stick. Don't worry, my landlord said. I shut it down. But I figured you should know someone's out to mess with you. Yeah, I muttered. I have a pretty good idea who it is. I hung up. Then, I did something I should have done a long time ago. I sent Ryan one final text. I know you called my landlord. I know you're trying to mess with me. But let me make something very clear. I am done playing your games. You are out of my life, Ryan. Permanently. Do not text me. Do not try to accidentally run into me. If you keep harassing me, I will involve the police. Do you understand? He left me on read. And you know what? That was the best outcome I could have hoped for. Final update, for now. It's been 2 weeks since that text. Ryan has gone completely silent. No calls. No texts. No accidental run-ins. Mom is still mad. She keeps posting cryptic Facebook statuses about loyalty and forgiveness. I muted her. Dad? Still secretly on my side, but too much of a coward to say it out loud. And me? I finally feel free. No more bank calls. No more manipulation. No more Ryan in my life. It's weird, honestly. For so long, I was stuck in this cycle, helping him, bailing him out, believing he would change. But he never did. And now? Now I don't have to waste another second of my life waiting for something that was never going to happen. Ryan finally has to face the world without me. And I finally get to live my life without him. TLDR. Ryan tried to turn my family against me, launched a social media smear campaign, sent his friends to harass me, and even filed a fake complaint with my landlord. I shut it all down, cut him off for good, and now I'm finally free.